What is the difference between glory and vainglory? It's a really interesting question because most of us conflate the two. We think that if you're a glory seeker, you're somehow a bad person. Whereas we don't really have a category for vanity or vainglory today, at least not like we used to have. But I think that if we think this way, we really diffuse ourselves. We really kind of make life less exciting than it ought to be. I would say that all of us are called to glory in the way that we're made, the way that we're structured, and the way the opportunities that we have, the way that we parent, the way that we work. Glory is a goal of ours to achieve. And so the question then is, what is glory, and how do we make sure that in our pursuit of glory, we're really not pursuing vainglory? Well, to get at an answer for this question, we have to return to an age where there was a sort of moral formation that was naturally talked about and worked out. And one of the masters of moral thought or ethics is Thomas Aquinas. And in his Summa Theologica, in his the second part of the Summa Theologica, he has this really interesting discussion on, I guess it's on vainglory, but it talks about glory as well. And as we get going, it's useful just to kind of see what his definition of glory is. So for Aquinas, the definition of glory is, glory denotes the manifestation of man's goodness. And it's a way to get honor. So seeking glory and honor itself is not a sin. In fact, if you look at the Christian tradition, you'll see in Romans 2:8 that the Apostle Paul says, seek glory in honor, but with the key conditions that you do it with patience and in well-doing. So glory is the manifestation of a man's goodness, a manifestation of anyone's goodness. That is to say, that glory is the result of a good work. You know, when Jesus says, let your light shine before men, that they might glorify God, that light that shines forth from you is the glory of a good thing done. So if you're a school teacher and you do excellent work and help kids with mathematics and science, etc., that is a work of particular glory, and it leads to appropriate honor. Honor, namely, being the praise of a real and genuine good work. Now, if the word glory, as Aquinas will say, properly denotes the display of something as regards its seeming comely, or like good, in the sight of men, whether it be a bodily or spiritual good, then we have to understand, if that's what glory is, we have to understand how it can be called vain, how vanity works. So he says, now glory may be called vain in three ways. First, on the part of the thing for which one seeks glory, as when a man seeks glory for that which is unworthy of glory, for instance, when he seeks it for something frail and perishable. So, obviously, if you're just trying to get likes on Instagram or something to get this sort of puff up your pride and have some sort of temporary gain for no real lasting goal, yeah, that's vain. No one is saying that glory is the effect of a corrupt work. But really, glory is a good work done, made manifest. And you can be pursuing vainglory in particular through, let's say, social media or something. Second, on the part of him whom he seeks glory, for instance, a man whose judgment is uncertain. So, if you are doing something that you don't know to be good, and maybe it's not good, and you're still doing that work, and you're just divided on whether it's useful or not, you yourself are really not pursuing glory because you don't even... Glory pursues an objective good. So if you subjectively have no idea if this is good, you're just kind of guesstimating. It's not really a glorious work. Accidentally, perhaps it could end up being that way, but you don't know. And that would be vain. You should know what you're doing before you do it. You should seek real goodness because it is objectively good, not just subjectively fulfilling. It's objective, verifiable, truthful, discoverable good. Third, on the part of the man himself who seeks glory for that he does not refer the desire of his own glory to a due end, such as God's honor or the spiritual welfare of his neighbor. Meaning, if you're seeking glory, that is a good work that's manifestly shown to others, and you're doing it not for the glory of God or for the glory of your neighbor, for the good of God or your neighbor, for the love of God or neighbor as yourself, you're doing it for some sort of selfish and just to appear good before people, that is also vainglory. Now, this is important. And in fact, Gregory the Great in his Moralia will name vainglory as one of the 7 capital vices, one of the 7 vicious sins, the 7 vices that kind of correspond to the 7 virtues. So vainglory is not some sort of neutral thing. It is something that can destroy your life. Now, how does it connect to honor? It's important to understand this because glory and honor are typically put side by side in the tradition. Well, now among the goods, Aquinas says, that are the means whereby man acquires honor, so there's many things that might bring honor, glory seems to be the most conducive to that effect, inasmuch as glory denotes the manifestation of man's goodness, since good is naturally loved and honored by all. What he's trying to get at is everybody loves goodness. Like, even if you don't achieve goodness, you know that it's better to share your food with someone else even if you don't do it, better to be kind even if you're not kind, etc. And goodness in general is like you want success or love or marriage or health. Generally speaking, everyone of right mind and right heart wants goodness. So if you're pursuing the manifestation of a good work so that your glory shines before men, people can see this, it's objective and tangible, well, that's one way to get honor, because honor really is the praise of a good work done. It is someone saying, great, you did it. And this is really important for me as a parent. For my children, whenever they do something good that's manifestly good, I honor them. I honor the pants off of them because I want them to know in particular that they have done something glorious, for they are called to glory. And one of the cardinal virtues, courage, is really the courage to do what you know is right. And by contrast, one of the key 7 vices is sloth. And sloth is a particular vice that describes not achieving the glory that you're called to. And all of us are called to glory and honor and immortality. And for us not to achieve that glory and not to be praised with real glory, not vainglory, but real glory, is sort of an impossible thing and sort of an unhealthy thing. We need to honor those who deserve honor for their glorious work, while avoiding, yes, flattery, which is sinful, and also avoiding vainglory, which is sinful. It's not talking about that. Honor, in a sense, you might just call encouragement. Glory is just doing good works. Glory and honor are wonderful things. And as Aquinas says, it is not a sin to know and approve of one's own good. For it is written, explains Thomas, who then cites 1 Corinthians 2:12, you have not received the Spirit of the world, but what you have received is the Spirit from God. We've received the Spirit from God, and this is a good thing, and is a glorious work, all that kind of idea. And Jesus, in Matthew 5:16, Aquinas points to, says, let your light shine before men. And if you're doing sin, that light's not going to shine before men. It won't be manifest. Only when you do righteousness will that be manifest. So it is evident and obvious that we are called to glory and honor and immortality. We are called to righteousness, and that righteousness, that justice, illuminates from us other people, and then it makes it manifest or clear. And when that happens, our goodness is known by other people, and you receive, appropriate honor. Thomas also explained the desire for glory does not of itself denote a sin, but the desire for empty or vainglory denotes a sin. For it is sinful to desire anything vain, according to Psalm 4:3. Why do you love vanity and seek after lying? Well, that's maybe a good way to kind of finish this. We should pursue glory. Glory is the manifestation, the manifest clarity of a good work done. Honor is praising that good work. Vainglory is doing it for some vicious reason or to look good or whatever. Flattery is not really praising someone accurately, sort of to get something from them, so that's not really honoring someone. And if we pursue glory and honor in a way that genuinely works toward the end of the duplex love of God and neighbor, or honor of God and neighbor, or of the duplex good of neighbor and God, then we've done a good thing. This is what we're called to do as human beings and as Christians in particular. So all people, I think in the tradition, the moral tradition, should seek glory, not vainglory, should seek honor, not give flattery, or, for example, be puffed up in pride, but instead should seek to do genuinely good works that are manifestly known to the world. That is the difference then between glory and vainglory, and more besides. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and I'll be back again whenever I'm thinking about a topic like this in the near future. Thanks for listening.